Fair enough. Let me start with trade and specifically TPP. Donald Trump earlier this week railing against it and then added this. We have to withdraw, okay? We have to. And we should seek a guarantee from Hillary Clinton that she won't sign it. Now, by the way, he's got the same position on TPP as Bernie Sanders, who wants it in the platform, opposition to TPP. Should Secretary Clinton oppose this and guarantee she will oppose it throughout her 4 years?
Secretary Clinton has been very clear that she opposes TPP, and Secretary Clinton has been very clear that she has a real plan to bring jobs back to America. She has a real plan on trade, which starts with making sure that we're tough on trade. So if China is dumping steel or dumping aluminum, she's called for a trade prosecutor reporting directly to her. She also has a plan to bring manufacturing jobs and expand them here in America by investing in workers. Donald Trump is a fraud. He's the outsourcer in chief, Chuck, and listening to him talk about how he's going to put America first again, he spent his entire career putting his own profits first.
Well, he's not the only one against this. Mr. Secretary, Bernie Sanders is just as vehement against this, and in fact, his people are fighting to get opposition in the Democratic platform. So what do you say to Bernie Sanders?
Well, again, this election is between Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump. And Donald Trump is telling the American people that he's going to put America first on trade. Donald Trump has said that wages are too high in America. Donald Trump has said that a low minimum wage is a good thing for America. Donald Trump makes his suits in Mexico when I've been to a plant in Ohio that uses union labor to make their suits. Donald Trump has said repeatedly that, I'm going to make America first. But when you look at the reality of what he has done, he has fought collective bargaining in Las Vegas. The people on the Strip who organized the Trump Hotel, they did it over his dead body. He doesn't believe in the prevailing wage. This notion that he's somehow going to be a champion for workers flies in the face of his record, because he hasn't put America first. He's put his own profits first. It's all about him.
Let me ask you, though, specifically about TPP. Labor Secretary Perez said this about TPP. In your capacity as Labor Secretary, you championed it. In one op-ed that we found in the Boulder Daily Camera, you called it critical to our 21st century competitiveness. That was over a year ago. Do you still believe in that version of the TPP?
Sure. This is what the president tasked me with doing, Chuck, and I was proud to do it, which is we want to go to school on the mistakes and the lessons of past trade agreements. We want to build a trade regime that, again, the North Star is the American worker, protecting the American worker. And so we want to make sure that when we negotiate with Mexico and Vietnam and others, that we have the strongest protections for workers that we've ever had. And that's what we set out to do, and that's what I believe we have done. The President and Secretary Clinton have a disagreement on whether TPP has gone that far. You know, this is not the first time in the history of the Democratic Party that there have been differences of opinion. Where they are totally in lockstep is their belief that we have to put the American worker first, and we have to go to school on the lessons of history. And that's exactly what we're doing in the work that we've been doing on trade.
Now, you just said the president tasked you with this when it comes to TPP. Let me ask Tom Perez, political citizen here, personal citizen in your capacity. Do you support TPP? Take your labor secretary hat off. Do you support it?
No. Absolutely. What we have done in the negotiations with Mexico and with Vietnam are, I think, some of the most far-reaching protections that we've seen in a labor agreement. And that's the work that I have done, and I'm proud of that work we've done, because
if we're going to
succeed in protecting, if we're going to succeed in protecting American workers, we've got to make sure we have tough, enforceable provisions. And that's what I've done, Chuck, and that's why I'm proud of the work I've done for this president. And again, President Obama and Secretary Clinton disagree on whether it is tough enough. I respect those differences. I'm proud of the work that I've done for this president, and I'll continue to do for this president. But the reality is, where we are in total agreement as a party is that we want to make sure that we put American workers first in everything we do, and that we have tough enforcement. And this administration has been tough on China in dumping, and Hillary Clinton wants to build on that progress and take it to the next level in moving forward. And that's where we have dramatic agreement. And we have to compete against the rest of the world, and we can do that as long as there's a level playing field, and that's where, again, another source of agreement for everybody.
To button up here, you personally support where TPP is going here. You personally support this.
Well, we're working our tails off to make sure that we are consistent with what the president wants us to do, making sure that Mexico and Vietnam and all of these countries, that we have the strongest protections, because we have to protect American workers. And that is what we set out to do. And that's what we continue to do as we negotiate these agreements. And we've been working our tails off toward that end.